It's us talking to the block, to the moms, to the homies lost, to the ones fighting demons in silence, to the kings and queens that forgot their crown. We four brothers coming straight from mud, hitting the web not for clout but for purse bills. Rhythm Night brothers, speaking truth to the mic, shining through the struggle, bringing dark to the light. Block to your soul, let the message ignite. Podcast for the people, every word take flight. Gritty like the grind, hell first we strive. Social heat in the streets, trying to keep hope alive. 4 mics, 1 mission, make the people revive. It's the night time, tune in, feel the vibe. We 4 deep light corners on the block, mics hot in the lab, cooking truth non-stop, no gimmicks. This ain't clickbait chatter, this heartbeat, struggling soul, blacker than batter. Got fam trying to heal, broke bills on the table. Talk health, mental wealth, if we able, we enable. From the hood to the web, we built this escape. Tired of seeing kings trapped in a lowercase fake. Click clack on the keys, we ain't just pie, we preach it. Street slang, health hacks, real talk preaching. See the system rigged, trying to cage our minds, but we cracking the code like it's Columbine. I'm the brother with the blueprint, knowledge in my stash. Turn trauma to armor, pain into cash. 1 mic, 4 voices, no filters, no mask. We ain't just streaming, we building that path. Freedom Night brothers, speaking truth to the mic, shining through the struggle, bringing dark to the light. Block to your soul, let the message ignite. Podcast for the people, every word take flight. Gritty like the grind, health first we strive. Social heat in the streets, trying to keep hope alive. 4 mics, 1 mission, make the people revive. It's the nighttime, tune in, feel the vibe.
Oh yeah, 4 mics, 1 mission. Nighttime, nighttime.
I seen young blood.
Peace and love. What's good?
All right, what's going on, my
Where the
brothers?
people
How
at?
you doing, man? How's everybody
Good
doing?
evening.
Blessed and highly favored.
All right. Brother Andre, I know you took advantage of this beautiful day today, and I know you did as well, and so did I, man. It was just a gorgeous day today. Great day for a walk.
I wish every day was like this. This was a perfect weather day.
Beautiful. Yeah, man, it was really nice out there today. So, hope everybody's doing well. That you're in good spirits, and man, we're gonna rock and roll tonight, all right? We got some interesting things to talk about tonight. Woo!
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Margaret Nick in the building, Mimi Lee, Cheryl Queen. Definitely love y'all on the scene. Peace and love. I wish y'all a beautiful, beautiful week. Indeed.
What's going on, Miss Lee? What's going on, Miss Nick? Well, listen, man, like I said, we got some great things to talk about tonight. And it's the Night Brother Show, the show where your opinion matters. So we're looking forward to your comments and your questions as we move forward with the show. Andre, how you feeling tonight, brother?
Brother Q, I'm feeling amazing. It's a gorgeous day, a gorgeous night. I'm just thankful to be here with you good brothers again once again.
Amen. Amen.
Hey, Andre, it look like you got that AMAC glow, man. You've been at the karate studio. Look like you've been doing something over there, brother.
Hey, I'm trying to be like my one of my mentors, Master Arden Smith. I'm trying to get to his level.
Hey, man, well, shoot, you rolling. I'm telling you that. Hey, shout out to Grandmaster Johnson over there, for real. You know,
Yes, sir.
And for people that don't know, man, you got a living legend in your backyard in Annapolis. Amos Johnson Jr. of Annapolis Martial Arts Center, the owner there, world-class Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? People don't even know. It's right in your neighborhood. Wow.
Well, Arden, speaking of Amos, man, come on. You say you won't get him for us. You got to lock him down for us, brother, so we can have him on here. Lock him down
man,
for us.
Yeah, because he is a legend. We need that legend. We need him.
Absolutely. So I will reach out to him this week, and I'm gonna also push on Andre to reach out to him this week too.
Yes,
and
sir.
There you go.
We'll find out what's a good day
y'all
for
tag
him
team.
and work
Tag
that
team.
out. There might have to be a 2 or 3 part series because that brother got a story.
He got some stories.
Yes,
Stories.
indeed.
He loves to tell them.
Hey, what's up,
You
Mr.
won't be
Turner?
bored. You won't be bored.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's get this thing rolling. Cheryl Queen, what's going on, dear?
Peace and love. Hey, happy solar return once again from Margaret Nick back in, you know what I mean? Just one more game. I'm gonna just say it one more time. I know it's past, but I'm saying it again.
You never get enough happy birthday wishes.
Not at all.
How you
Miss
doing, Vanessa?
Turner.
All is well with you. good to see your face in the place.
Peace and love. Definitely good to see you. Uh-oh. We vibing, baby. What's happening, Q?
Man, I just want to lay in the shade, get in those shade, you know what I mean? And pontificate on life. We vibing under the city lights. Wherever the wind go take us. If it's good, we make it contagious. Said we vibing, laying on black sand beaches, thinking of what life teaches. So glad and fall from the deep end. Said we vibing under the city lights. Wherever the wind gon' take us. If it's good, we make it contagious. Said we vibing.
Yeah, we sure got vibing tonight, guys. Listen, we got a couple of very, very interesting topics that we're going to dive into tonight. And as you said, your opinion matters. So as we dive in, we want you to dive in as well. First topic for tonight, man. This one is going to spur some conversation. We want to know who you think. Now, socially speaking, who do you consider the GOAT? The greatest of all times of black comedian. Is it Richard Pryor? Is it Eddie Murphy? It could be Dave Chappelle. It could be Bernie Mac. It could be, we don't want to forget people like some more. You know, it could be anybody you think falls into that category. We got some old school, Paul Mooney and people of that nature. So we're going to cover that tonight, first of all. And once again, we want your opinion on that. And we're looking for some good conversation there. After we've covered that socially speaking segment of the GOAT of all time with black comedians, then we're going to dive into something that's probably going to rock you guys a little bit. We're going to talk about entomophagy. And we're going to introduce and tell you what it is, and we're going to tell you some surprising things about it. I'm not going to give it all away now. We're going to have to wait until we get to that feature, until we really break it down. And I think we're going to be a little bit surprised. So back to you, Larry.
Ew.
Who's the GOAT? Black Comedy Debate. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Night Brothers Show, where the jokes are real and the debates get a little heated. Oh yeah, today we're stepping into dangerous territory. We're talking about the greatest black comedians of all time. Now listen, before everybody starts typing in all caps, this is a debate, not a family reunion fight, although it might turn into one. Round one, the legends. Let's start with the foundation. If you don't mention Richard Pryor, we shutting the whole show down. Facts. Pryor didn't just tell jokes, he told truth, pain, life, addiction, and somehow had you laughing through all of it. Just joking. Pryor could talk about setting himself on fire, and you'd be like, that's deep and also hilarious. Now let's talk about Eddie Murphy. Man, raw and delirious, that wasn't comedy, that was a cultural event. Eddie had everybody in the 80s wearing red leather like it was church clothes, and we can't forget the legendary Red Fox, a straight pioneer. Without him, half these comedians don't even get a stage. Sanford and Son walked so everybody else could run. Now here's where it gets interesting. Chris Rock. Chris Rock don't just tell jokes, he gives you a knowledge nugget talk you didn't ask for but needed. You laughing? Then 5 minutes later you like, wait, he might be right. And then there's Dave Chappelle. Oh boy. Here we go. Chappelle is like that professor who jokes, but you know there's going to be a test later. And don't sleep on Whoopi Goldberg. One woman shows storytelling, she brought something totally different. Whoopi made you laugh and feel like you just learned something about life. Round two, today's heavy hitters. All right, fast forward to today. Who's running the game? You got to start with Kevin Hart. Kevin turned being short into a billion-dollar business model. Arena tours, movies, commercials, he everywhere. And yep, Dave Chappelle's still here. That's when you know you great, when you dominate two eras. Let's talk about Cat Williams. Cat got that say what everybody thinking but scared to say energy. Cat doesn't do interviews. He does verbal uppercuts. Now Tiffany Haddish, she brought raw, unfiltered, I'm gonna tell it like it is comedy back to the mainstream. Don't forget Dion Cole. Smooth, calm, sneaky, funny. He'll say something low-key. and it hits you 3 seconds later like, wait, hold up. And representing the new school, DC Young Fly. Social media turned into real comedy success. That's a whole new lane. Round 3, the how can you leave them out list. All right, now this is where the audience gets mad, because how do you leave out Bernie Mac? I ain't scared of you muffs. Iconic, legendary. Martin Lawrence. Martin had TV and stand-up on lock. Cedric the Entertainer, king of comedy royalty right there. Steve Harvey, from stand-up to hosting everything on television. And Monique, raw, bold, and never afraid to speak her mind. Final round, what your thoughts? All right, we've said enough. Now it's your turn. Who is your GOAT? Team Pryor, Team Eddie, Team Chappelle, or somebody we didn't mention? And
if you say your uncle from the cookout, we might let that slide too.
drop your picks in the comments. Tag a friend. And let's keep this debate going, because one thing's for sure, comedy is serious business.
I want to know who y'all people are, man. You know, type it in the chat. Who's your people? Who are you? Because the person that I'm thinking wasn't mentioned. It's hard to tell. It's hard to fathom that the person that's responsible for black people to walk on stage and stand up and do stand-up comedy, it wasn't mentioned. Anybody remember who that was? The biggest comedian in the game, and he is actually the person that was out there before all of the people we just mentioned. Anybody
I'm glad you said that, Arden.
There's several that fall into that manager.
I'm glad you said that, Arden, because instead of trying to attack this thing, because it's so much.
It's so much.
It's instead of trying to attack this thing, I'm gonna put some faces on the screen. I'm gonna see if y'all know who these people are. And I think you talking about this guy.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He
And Paul
was
Mooney.
the
And Paul Mooney.
only black man in the country, because it was an American country.
Tell people his name, because some people might not know. We assume that they know the name.
Dick Gregory,
right? Dick Gregory.
Yes, Dick Gregory. He was as big as Dave Chappelle and what's my man name? Dude is on everywhere. Him.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, yeah.
Kevin Hart. He was
Say
big as Kevin Hart at the time. And he was the reason why other people were able to come into that situation. His first big, huge job was at the Playboy Mansion.
It ain't hard to be bigger than Kevin Hart.
Well, I mean,
from a size.
The thing about the different, and we get
he was humongous, and he gave that up for everybody, because it's his story. Hopefully, if not, we will share that later. But what does everybody else think? Margaret, who's your favorite? Come on, man, Cheryl, you gotta give it.
I'm gonna throw some faces on the screen. Y'all know who that is?
Yes, indeed.
You fish-eyed fool.
Her real name is LaWanda Page.
Yes.
What made her famous?
Y'all remember this guy? You remember who this guy is?
Yes, indeed.
That's Godfrey Cambridge.
Yeah, good memory, Q.
Oh, yeah. What about what's the guy who used to do all the different characters? Before Richard Pryor was doing the characters. What's his name?
These are legends, so I'm just going back to the legend. Do you know who this is? Anybody know who this is?
Yes.
Nipsey Russell?
Live.
Nope.
Don't miss it.
Nope. That's not his name. But what is his name, Q?
Man, I'm trying to remember who that is right there.
Slappy White.
Oh, jeez.
I couldn't think of his last name.
Do you remember who this guy is?
That's Nipsey Russell. Right?
Before it was a hustle, it was a Russell. And a lot of people don't know that this guy got his name from a real comedian named Nipsey Russell. That was his name.
Yep.
That was a stage name anyway.
But let me see if you have his other one. Did you have the picture of Paul Mooney? Do you have Paul Mooney's picture?
No, I'll grab it though. And Bill Cosby, before Bill Cosby got into a whole lot of, before they tarnished his name. I mean, he did some stuff. I ain't gonna say they just tarnished his name. He did some stuff. Let me take that back.
Incredible comedic comedic mind. You know what I mean? I
But
was
you might want to
What
put
about
Paul
what about
Mooney as well.
what's
Paul Mooney,
Dolomite?
Dolomite.
Dolomite?
Yeah, he was another one.
And you know what's so funny is that he technically wasn't a comedian, but he was just super funny. But yeah, he you know, pretty much was a comedian with his own album. That's just a heck of a shit.
Yeah.
The last picture that he pulled up is Paul Mooney. And one of the things a lot of people don't know about Paul Mooney is Paul Mooney was definitely incredibly funny in his own right, but he also wrote for other comedians. A lot of Richard Pryor's material came from Paul Mooney. He wrote for Richard Pryor directly.
Hey,
and provided
do
a
you
lot
know-
of great material for Richard Pryor.
Do you know he produced the Richard Pryor's show? Richard Pryor's show?
I was gonna say he was
And
a
so
chief
all of
writer.
those people he was responsible for putting on. So he put on Robert Williams.
Yep.
He broke Robert Williams. I mean, incredible. I mean, that's another guy that's an incredible comedic mind, man.
From the old era, these cats on the screen was definitely hitting it.
Lenny, what about Flip Wilson?
Flip Wilson, see what I mean?
Flip Wilson.
Flip Wilson, you're right, man. God damn.
Sucker. And Geraldine, his character, Geraldine.
Yes.
Yep. One of the things about a lot of these faces that you see, there you go, Flip Wilson. A lot of these faces that you see, they went on to become activists. So they took their comedic talents and they always had a message in their routines, I would say, Arden. Even back in the day, but then they became more outspoken as, what do you say about that, Andre or Q or Arden?
Well, I can tell you for sure, Dick Gregory and Paul Mooney definitely went into that arena. Dick Gregory uses comedy to fight racism, if you really want to think about it. And Paul Mooney was another one who was so socially conscious about the things that were going on in America. And he used comedy as a way to bridge those messages as well. So you're right, a lot of them did transition to that type of environment.
Lenny, I would even say that even if it wasn't direct, they all did it in their own way because they went up against the establishment, right? I think a lot of those artists came through at a time where African American, it was hard for black people to get into the show business, right? And so they didn't conform. They were who they were, right? And they never forgot about that, and they made sure that their audiences realized that. So I think even those who weren't seen as being as conscious as Paul Mooney and Dick Gregory, they still did it in their own way, right? And they still made sure that they stayed true to who they were.
No doubt. I definitely have to agree with you on that. You know.
It's funny though, because when you start talking about activism and actual movements, what's connected with movement is sacrifice. And when you see somebody that became like the biggest artist ever, as far as comedic at the time, is like Dick Gregory, to turn around and actually walk away from that and be a steadfast activist. And to the point where later on in life, if he would talk about anything, he could talk about it and give you that information, but it would still be funny, even though he wasn't operating in a comedic realm. And he just was straight on the people. I mean, even think about it, he had his own beverage to try to make black people more healthy and also create businesses for them. But you know, a lot of people did a lot of stuff, and a lot of those people that were that you put up there also put a lot of money up for people to do marches when Martin Luther King needed money for buses, and when they were trying to do certain things with Push. A lot of those artists were the funds for that. So it's really important to see that.
Arden, when you say that Dick Gregory having his own beverage, you know what that makes me think of? The scene in House Party.
Exactly. That's what was going on, Andre. That was exactly what I saw your face, Q.
Let me ask y'all this: in your own opinion, audience and host, in your own opinion, who's the true goat of black comedy and why? To you, I mean, I know it's hard to define it to one. So, do you want to say two or three? But Arden, what say you, brother?
I gotta give Dick Gregory, his homage, because this road wouldn't be paved if it wasn't for him starting that off. But him, Richard Pryor, Uh, I gotta say Eddie Murphy because that was in my time coming up. Dave Chappelle. I mean, I would have to say Dave Chappelle is definitely one of them. Um, I mean, it's just so many because when you start talking about Red Fox, you know, who don't love Red Fox? I remember hearing them Red Fox was nasty too. I remember hearing them records when I wasn't supposed to be hearing them records. On the low, you listening, trying to snicker in your room because you don't want nobody hear you in there listening to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember my mother, and my mother was a pretty religious woman. I remember her listening to Richard Pryor.
Guess who we left out? Guess who we left out?
Huh.
Mom's
I would
Maybe.
say that for me,
Maybe.
Mom's Maybe. Oh yeah,
Mom's Maybe. Can't leave mom's out.
yeah.
but I would say for me, I would say the king of comedy, and like I said, this is a very, very. I would say there's so many options here, but for me personally, I think Richard Pryor, because he was so widely recognized for his storytelling. Man, Richard Pryor's storytelling was second to none. He had the ability to weave a story and make it funny. Y'all remember,
Right.
where is Two Below, Mississippi? Right next to One Below. I mean, he told stories.
I know that's a little bit graphic, but I remember the Richard Pryor album where he said, two Negroes were standing on the bridge and they had to take a leak. So one Negro pulled his thing out and said, "Damn, the water cold, right?" And the other Negro said, "Yeah, it's deep too." Oh man, I shouldn't have went there, but yeah. Richard Pryor has stories. How about you, Andre? Who's some of your favorites and why?
I mean, I think everybody, you're all right. And I think what Q just said, Richard Pryor, he was the one who influenced Eddie Murphy. But once Eddie Murphy hit the scene for me, like I remember seeing him on Saturday Night Live, and he was still the show. Any skit Eddie Murphy was in, he was still in the show. I remember Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, right? Then I think about when he got into this movie business, 48 Hours, Trading Places, Coming to America, Harlem Nights, two of the greatest movies ever, comedy movies. Harlem Nights, Coming to America. Eddie Murphy was just a scene stealer, amazing comedy. I mean, he could do acting, and his stand-up game was tight. Delirious and Raw. Who could forget Umfunfu or whatever it was when he went to Africa, right?
Umfunfu, yes, right.
He got his wife from Africa.
Oh, Tay!
Okay, yes.
But Andre, I love the movie that you mentioned, Harlem Nights, because Harlem Nights, the thing I love about Harlem Nights, it featured a litany of black comedians. Red Fox was in that. One person who we haven't mentioned tonight was in that. Robin Harris.
Robin Harris.
He's someone who's on the verge of blowing up and becoming a major star.
Baby Kid.
You might not know who Robin Harris is, but you've heard the term Bebe's Kids.
Bebe's Kids, yes.
You've heard Bebe's Kids, that's Robin Harris. And he also played the dad in the Kid and Play movies. He was
House Party. He was in House Party.
House Party, yeah. But that movie Harlem Nights had Red Fox, it had Richard Pryor, it had Eddie Murphy, it had Arsenio Hall, it had Tommy was even in that movie.
Charlie Murphy.
My boy.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy, yes.
Charlie Murphy. It was so. Della Reese. Who you talking to, sugar? Sucker. Put your gloves up now, sucker.
Shot her in her pinky toe. Shot her in her pinky toe.
Yeah, after she kind of beat down.
Yes, sir. So that was a phenomenal movie.
But that was a lot of the greats. That was their last movie. And that was one reason why I had to put Richard Pryor up there, because one thing he did is celebrate the people that came before him, and whenever he could, he pulled them into what he was doing.
So let me ask y'all this. Does global success and mainstream popularity make Kevin Hart the greatest of today's era? Because some people don't think he's as funny as others do, because maybe they're comparing it to other eras. But you're talking about global mainstream and popularity. Does that make him number one today, or does the impact The message have to go to somebody like a Chris Rock or a Cat Williams that's much more socially conscious, I would say.
Woo. Well, that's a tough one there. Go ahead, Artie, I'm gonna let you go first before I give you my comments on that.
It's all good. I mean, it's just, you start talking about what's popular and, being popular or the best comedian. And the beautiful part about comedy is that it's a lane for everybody. And the blessing is that I don't have to like, my favorite comedian doesn't have to be your favorite comedian. And that's the beautiful thing of it. But you got to say that commercially he's done with a lot of comedians haven't done. But now let's be real, because I'm familiar with the business, and that means that somebody else allowed him to do certain things. Now I got to give him his credit due for the business acumen that he had to execute and continue to be out there and continue to remain relevant and funny. So yeah, he's definitely one of them. But I would say Dave Chappelle, because one, he did it on his own terms, and he was strong enough to stand up against the system, and funny enough to still remain dominant.
I like where you're going with that.
Because when they don't want you to be, and when they're trying to crush you, and you can still come back and dominate like Grandmaster Johnson, then you the best of the best, for real.
Yeah.
I would say, as far as raw comedy itself of today, because everything you said about him is correct. About Kevin Hart is correct. But as far as funny and raw comedy, for me, it's Cat Williams. I find that guy just hilarious, man.
Oh, he's hilarious.
And he tapped into some social stuff as well, because I remember he did this riff on Ozempic. He said Ozempic is tearing Hollywood's ass up. I mean, he did a riff on that, and I thought that had me out in my chair laughing. So, from that aspect, just the raw funniness aspect, for me is Cat Williams. But your point is very valid in Kevin Hart and the marketing and the mainstreaming, and a lot of that is, like you said, Arden, the connections he had that allowed him to.
What about comedians, that had maybe the biggest cultural impact? Because I know Red Fox had one. He opened the doors. We know that they're old school. So now we're getting into like the Bernie Macs, the Martin Lawrences. Y'all forgot Martin was on Def Comedy Jam too. Remember he was on there, and he used
when Martin was on Def Comedy Jam, that was his funniest to me. That was his peak.
It was his best.
The stuff he did on Def Comedy was like unheard of, and the way that was the first time I ever saw a comedian like play off the audience and call people out the audience. And, he did something that was just so innovative, and he was just amazing.
He said, "I'm just kidding, man. I'm just playing with you, man." But he would call out football players and basketball players in the crowd. He would just bust on anybody, Andre.
I remember one time he called this one lady up. She had a yellow, looked like a Big Bird suit on, and he called her up to the stage and he said, "Big Bird from Sesame Street's here."
I remember that shit. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Y'all look like Big Bird.
Yeah, but people should go back and watch, because we can access those shows easily now. People should go back and watch those first couple of seasons of Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah,
it was absolutely hilarious, and it introduced us to some people, like it introduced us to Bernie Mac. It introduced us to Robin Harris. It introduced us to Earthquake. It introduced us to so many comedians who are still working today. Don D.C. Kerr and so many others. So,
and who gets snubbed from like the all-time list, from some of the top lists, like Steve Harvey? You got to give him.
Steve Harvey is not a comedian.
Well, he started as one, Arden. That was his thing.
I don't have to call him a comedian, but he spurred out into other things. He started as a comedian, though. That was his forte to begin with. So whether you consider that now or not, that's where he started from, as a comedian.
So when you talk about people being snubbed, I think about the people that never really, I don't feel like they really got a fair shot, right? So I think about somebody like Lavelle Crawford, who I love.
Oh my God, I love him. That boy funny as hell.
Yes, I think about, like, I said this before, like Arnaz J, who just
That's one of my
Arnaz J
favorites.
was on Def,
One of
when he was
my
on Def
favorites
Jam,
right there.
that dude was
That's one of my
amazing.
favorites.
And then I
Yeah.
think about like Bruce, who I think
Yes.
is another funny
Yeah.
guy who never really got their just due. Right? I just saw, I think he has a special on, I think he's on Netflix now. So those are just like amazing guys who never got their chance.
You remember this guy right here, man? You know who he is?
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
Brother Charlie.
Charlie Murphy was funny as heck, man.
Charlie Murphy's skits on Dave Chappelle is iconic.
Yeah.
No doubt.
He
You
tells some
gotta
stories.
think about Eddie Griffin too. Eddie Griffin was another funny
Oh,
guy.
yeah,
Eddie
yeah,
Griffin,
yeah.
yes.
Eddie
Who
Griffin
never
was
really got
hilarious.
the full dude that he should have gotten. And
How about
you mentioned Bruce, but I remember another guy, Don D.C. Curry, who also starred in some of the movies. And that guy you just pulled up just right there, man.
Yeah.
Funny guy. Chris, man, Chris was incredibly funny, man.
Yeah.
And he cycled in and out of the comic game, but the brother was funny and still is.
But I'm gonna tell you, the dude you talked about, I don't know how many people know of Lavelle Crawford, but Lavelle Crawford, I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't watched Lavelle Crawford, you need to go on YouTube and pull up some Lavelle Crawford. If you just need to crack up, you just need a happy moment, man. Go listen to this dude right here, man. This dude.
Many.
He's a lot smaller,
He has a 2-part comedy show where he just talks about food, because he had the guy the bypass and he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he has
He
lost a lot.
talks about food, and it is, I mean, my stomach was sore from laughing at him because he's hilarious.
Funny.
Yeah,
the newer one that he has out right now? That's the newest one?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, he lost some weight. But look, y'all, let's keep moving because we're gonna be on this one all night. Great subject, and let's keep it moving now. All right, here we go, y'all.
Welcome back to the Night Brothers Show, where we keep it real, relevant, and sometimes a little crunchy. And today, oh yeah, we're talking about bugs. Not the kind you call an exterminator for. We're talking about the kind folks are putting on their dinner plates. That's right, insects as food, also known as entomophagy. And believe it or not, this isn't just some reality TV challenge anymore. It's becoming a real trend worldwide. Okay, why bugs? So why are people even considering insects as food? Simple, they're being marketed as a superfood. We're talking high protein packed with iron and vitamins. In fact, some insects have more protein per gram than beef. Yeah, let that sit for a second. Your juicy burger might be getting outperformed by a cricket. That's tough. And they're not just serving bugs whole. Some companies are grinding them into powders and sneaking them into protein bars, chips, cookies. So, technically, you might already be eating bugs and just don't know it. Talk about a surprise. Now let's talk about the environmental angle. This is where it gets serious, the fact of sustainability. Do you realize that insects require way less land, water, and food than cows or chickens? And they produce fewer greenhouse gases. So for folks concerned about climate change and food shortages, insects are being pitched as the future. Basically, they're saying to save the planet, eat a cricket, not a chicken. Are you listening, McDonald's? But seriously, guys, this is really starting to take off. And make no mistake, this is big business. The insect food market was already worth billions in 2024. And it could grow to as much as $7 billion or more in the next several years. That's a lot of money for something most people are still side-eyeing on their plate. Are you guys ready for a deep dive into this? Let's talk about the biggest obstacle, the yuck factor. Studies show only about 20% of people in the US are even willing to try insects. That means 80% are saying, nah bro or sis, I'm good. And honestly, I do get it. Shoot. Some of us barely trust sushi. Now you want us eating beetle burgers? Plus, at this point it's still not mainstream. Most insect farming today is actually used for pet food or animal feed, not human meals. And here's another issue. It's expensive. Right now, insect protein often costs more than chicken, beef, or even plant-based options. Hey audience, have we reached the point of culture and acceptance in America? The truth is, globally, this isn't new. In many parts of Africa, Asia, and Latin America, eating insects is completely normal. But in Western cultures, we're still trying to get over the mental hurdle of it all. It's not just about taste, it's about mindset. So here's the deal. This insect food trend is real and profitable, but it's still evolving. What's working? Protein powders, hidden ingredients, and sustainability messaging. What's not quite there yet? Getting people to swap out their burgers for a plate of roasted grasshoppers, at least not on a regular Tuesday night. Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road. Audience, if people you trust told you it tastes good, would you try it? Man, the truth for me is if it tastes like barbecue, a brother might need a minute, but I'll think about it. But while I'm thinking about it, you guys are thinking about ordering that extra cheese pizza. That's all for today on the Night Brothers Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Night Brothers channel. And remember, the future.
All right, y'all.
First one on here that want baked beetles. Come
on. This guy said, "I will not eat bugs." Anyway, let's just jump down to question. I'm curious, audience participation too. Q, let's start simple and to the top. What in the world is entomophagy?
Well, entomophagy is as the video tried to explain, entomophagy is the practice of eating insects. Insects such as beetles, crickets, locusts, termites, ants even, and using them as a source of protein, vitamins, minerals. All of those things have been proven to be found in insects. That's exactly what it is. Now, we're going to break that down a little further. I don't want to go any further because we're going to cover some other aspects of this as we move along. Go on, Andre.
Andre, they're calling this a superfood. Well, talk about that.
Well, let me put this out there. I'm vegan, so if it has legs, if it has eyes, ears, a mouth, I don't eat it. We'll put that out there. But they're calling it a superfood because they're saying that, bugs can have as much protein as chicken or beef or lamb or veal, what have you. So, don't be surprised for those who are trying to amp up on their protein if your trainer says, "Hey, I got this beetle protein shake for you."
Stop bugging, trainer.
You stop bugging. Stop bugging. You bugging, baby. Oh God. Are we talking about eating the whole bugs on a plate, legs, eye, and all? Explain how this works.
You put it in your mouth and you just chew. It's a basic aspect of it. I would say close your eyes, pinch your nose, and throw your head back, swallow it quick. But realistically, it's something that's been going on for a long time.
All right.
And sometimes you got them so maybe you don't want a bee and you won't eat a bumblebee, but what if it's chocolate covered? How many would eat a chocolate covered bumblebee? Put a 1 down there if you're down with the chocolate covered bumblebee.
If it was a chocolate covered, you might.
Chocolate covered, you know what I mean? You might thought it was raisins. It's a little chewy, but yeah, it wasn't raisins. But
put some mambo sauce on it. Y'all wouldn't even know.
All you need.
Mambo sauce.
Now we have our first convert right here.
Convert.
Okay, how was it? Was it good? Was it fried?
All right, Cheryl.
How was it, Cheryl? Tell us, was it good?
Cheryl, you have to follow up on that comment.
Please.
Or call one of us up on the phone right now, and we can talk to you about it. Either one. But Q, also about this. I mean, just different aspects of it. So how are they trying to convince people on this? What's the marketing? What's the strategy?
They're doing a couple of things. See, first of all, what they're doing is presenting it in a different way. They're presenting it in angles that will make it appealing to our culture, which is the main thing. With anything, we're always going to be resistant to change. And it's the way they have to present this. They have to walk it in kind of in the back door. They can't come straight out front with this. So they backdooring this thing. And I don't want to step on some other parts, but that's going to be coming in after this. But they are backdooring this to making it mainstream. That's what's going on right now. That's why it's become such a big trend at this point. And I'm going to let the other gentleman break that down even further.
Environmentally, Andre, dive into that.
So when you think about the resources that go into having livestock, having a farm, having chickens and chicken plants, there's a lot of resources that go into that. So a lot of these uh, individuals who really specialize in bugs, they say that it's less resources, right? And the cows, the chickens, they emit a lot of gases into the ozone layer. So people say there's also a lot of pollutants that come along with that. So they're saying bugs are really, really low maintenance, and resources wise, it's a lot easier. So from that standpoint, people are like, that's another reason why they're leaning towards these bugs.
You know what? You're probably very right about that. Probably extremely right about it. Let me see what Cheryl is following up. Okay, that's what we wanted to know. It wasn't bad. It was seasoned very well, so I couldn't tell it was a cricket or whether it was a chip. It had crunchy and it was crunchy.
I want to know.
It was magically delicious. That's what she wanted.
Eat the legs.
I'm giving Cheryl big props for that, being adventurous.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, I will. I mean, I gotta give it up to her. Definitely. But Andre, you're right. Environmentally wise, look, if the planet has how many people now? Is it 8 billion?
8 billion. Yes.
8 billion? Or has it gone up? Or am I too high? 8
No,
billion?
it's over 8 billion. It's over 8 billion.
Okay. Let me see. Don't want no frog legs either. Margaret just saying if you're inviting her to the party, don't be getting all experimental on her.
Okay. Somebody might show up to somebody's cookout. You might show up to somebody's cookout and they might have some crickets on the menu.
Yeah.
All right. Talk about the business aspect.
Well, I mean, the business piece is growing extremely, extremely fast. Because and I know I should have said it the last time, because you have this going out as when you start talking to people that's really heavy into protein and they're in the keto diets and such. When you look at wanting to get pure protein, and this has 3 times or more protein than your meat that you generally consume with, especially here is pork, chicken, and beef are the main things here. But it's highly densely packed with protein, and it's in actually it's still a little bit more expensive, but they're starting to ground them up, put them in powder form, and for people to put it in their shakes. It's just becoming easier to kind of put in your diet, so to speak. And a lot of people are having it added and they don't even know it's added.
They're trying to make it more digestible. That's what you said. Your mom actually said, your mom, and I'll let you answer this, but your mom said that she had chocolate covered bumblebee, tasted pretty good. On a scale of 1 to 9, she gave it a 10. No, she ain't say all that. I'm just embellishing. But she said, one of my mother's students, which is your grandma, bought her some when she was a teacher. And she also went on to say it tasted good as long as she waited until I ate it.
Yeah. After she ate it and then she told her what it was.
Oh!
Like, think about it. You come in with a bag of chocolates, and somebody's eating the chocolates. You like, yo, let me grab some. You thinking it's raisins? You thinking it's nuts? You thinking it's whatever? But you don't know. It's like a bag of chocolates. You don't know till you open it up.
It's crunchy. It's crunchy. It's good.
But if the chocolate is good, it's gonna be good. You know what I mean?
Now, I mean, you talking frog legs. She said frog legs too. Y'all was adventurous in the Smith household. I see.
I ain't have none of them damn. They ain't get me with the okey. Not the kid.
Not the kid. Okay.
13 years old.
That's the one the comedian said. I ain't no termite.
Q, let's be honest. Why are most people saying, "Oh, hell no"?
Conditioning.
Well, it's honestly, it's programming. It's that yuck factor, man. You have that yuck factor. People think right away, ooh, it's bugs. Just like I heard a couple of people say that, reacted that way tonight. And it's because that it's not something that's ingrained in our culture like it is in other cultures. So it's mindset, the way we think. When we think of bugs, we think negatively. We think of bugs, we think of exterminators. Oh, we gotta get rid of I gotta get rid of these roaches, y'all. You know, that's the way we think about it. Rather than think about it as being something that can be nutritious, can add vitamins and minerals to our diet, and can be helpful to the environment. So it's just a matter of us becoming familiar with that and becoming used to that as a part of our diets. But that
Interesting.
Interesting.
You might could hire you as a salesperson the way you the way you strung that together. Andre, is this mainstream yet, or could you see bugs one day replacing burgers or replacing become a viable protein source in the ecosystem?
So Lenny, to be honest, I say no. I say no because I think a lot of people are going the opposite direction. I think a lot of people are going more plant-based and things of that nature. So I don't see it happening anytime soon. But like they say, everything isn't for everyone as well. So maybe I could see a couple pop-up spots popping up, and maybe they have some dedicated customers. But for the most part, I'm gonna say don't invest your money in a bug McDonald's just quite yet.
Okay, don't buy no stock yet.
That bug corner store ain't gonna pop off like that right now, Andre.
Not yet.
Don't buy the stock yet. Don't invest in the stock. Your mother said this was before your time, Arden. I guess she was just a youngin'.
I was
Arden said, "Thank God."
when that was going
Lisa Slade says definitely healthier for you. I want to find out a little bit more about. Talk to me about that, Lisa. I mean, opine on that and see where that's taking us. Arden, inform us of cultures that's been doing this all along, and we just tripping in the Western culture. Talk about that, brother.
I mean, people are used to it. You figure South America, Asia, certain parts of Africa, different, bugs are deemed to be, very nutritious. And some people, many of them would say delicious. So it's not like a large population in the world aren't consuming these things. So it's our condition.
You were in Africa for a while, right, Arden? Didn't you go to Africa you went for an extended amount of time, not just like a little week thing. Did you see anything like that, or see,
I saw a bunch of stuff that, I was, still ill. I was vegan there. So I was walking past a bunch of stuff that I didn't even take two looks at. So I did see some bugs, but, you have what they call grass cutters, which is bush meat. That's what they call it. I guess if you was in D.C., you would call it a rat. If you was out in the country, you would call it mush rat. But to me, it's still a rat. And I was like, damn. And they had them on the side of the road. They standing up there looking like it.
Oh, man.
And then bush meat? I was like, no.
Really? What do they call it? What did they call it? What did they dress it up as?
They called it bush meat, or they called it
bush meat.
Grass cutters.
Oh, dang.
Well, in Ghana, they called it grass cutters. And it was, it was damn rat. But
Mimi is literally.
Mimi is hilarious.
No, I'm just saying, think about when we were younger and you had people, the elders that would go hunt and they would hunt muskrat. What's a muskrat?
It's a marsh rat. They call it marsh rabbit.
It's a musk that they put the word red on it into its name.
Because if you look at them beside a rat, they're cousins. First cousin. What's a squirrel? Pause. I'm asking questions, son. What's a squirrel?
A tree rat.
Okay. Rat. That's all I saw. That's all I heard. So I kept on pushing. But it was a lot of interesting things people was eating. I can tell you that.
Lenny, could you put Mimi's comment back on the screen after you put?
Oh yeah, she was bugging. She was literally bugging. She said, "I don't eat green eggs and ham. I don't eat bugs or frogs." Sam,
I'm with you, Sam.
That was good. That was
That's good, Mimi.
that was really good, man. That was really, really good. I got to give you all that. All right, last segment of this of the bugology. Q, what would stop this from seriously growing and having an impact to the industry?
Well, there's the psychological, culture aversion to it. People just this is not something that we have thought about in this country. Like we talked about how it's commonplace in other cultures. For that's the number one thing. Number two, there's the cost factor. Believe it or not, it's costly. As the video talked about, having and producing these can be somewhat costly. So it's right now because they're not mass produced. But the bug protein is a little more costly than your normal protein, and then that's because it's a specialized product as well. And then there are cultural taboos that we have. We just have a problem with anything that's different. And we think about, like I said, we think about bugs. We think about them in a whole different way. We don't think about them as a food source. So when Subway starts coming out with that cricket sandwich, then we might have something going on here. That cricket and tuna sandwich, you know what I mean? So, but that's going to be some of the challenges that this is going to have.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Dre.
Zadi. So I definitely see a lot of people jumping in on it. Like you say, you throw some chocolate on it or something. I think that you can spin it to grow.
Andre, it's on you, brother. Talk about humans. Is it targeted just for humans, and how are they going about this at this juncture?
So no, right now it's still just basically animal feed, right? And when I think about this, I think about when my oldest son had his lizard. He had a lizard, and we had to feed it live crickets. I'm thinking like, well, were we going to be sharing those crickets, or was that just for his lizard, right? So I think right now it's just, and it's still in the direction of for animals. But who knows? Who knows in a few years, right? Maybe it will be a bigger market, but I think to Q's point, right now it's very costly. So,
muskrat fried. Thank you, Dre, for your answer. On your mother, I gotta put her. She is getting it in tonight. Muskrats. She got me interested. Muskrats fried, mashed potatoes and gravy. Delicious if you don't have meat and have money to buy. You know what? That is something. She raises a great point. A great point.
But that's what I was leaning into, especially with the times going on right now with, war around a lot of places around the world, and certain commodities are very difficult to get to certain places. This will have people lean into, bugging out more. You know what I mean? For real. Because it's about consumption. You don't have no food. Bugging out.
Come on,
They do.
Come on, man.
If you don't have no food, them bugs gonna look scrumptious.
Oh my God.
Oh man, the way you said it, man.
To Q's point, though, to Q's point, I think most people psychologically, when you look at the bugs, you can't get past it, right? And I think that the whole fear factor thing, people are like, I would never eat that. So, I mean, never say never, but I think psychologically it'd be so hard for people to get past that.
Margaret said she was young, they had muskrats, but she couldn't get past that psychological, seeing them soaking in the sink with all the blood. Let me ask y'all this now. This is old.
Most people would be vegetarians if they had to cut it and gut it and split it and drain
all
it.
of that, right?
Do that. Yeah.
Oh, now remember we went to the cow slaughter and we saw the entire process when they prayed over the darn cow, and then they put his head in the thing and slice it, whip. And they called it kosher at that because they prayed over. Huh?
They put the thing, bust them in the head with the gun.
Yeah, bust them in the head after that.
Yeah. Then 10 minutes later, we saw him hanging up. Oh, remember? He was hanging up. He had been skinned. They used every part of him. But let me ask you this. Do y'all remember, y'all might be old enough to remember, there was a movie called Soylent Green. You ever heard of that?
Much so. Yeah, I remember.
No, I don't remember that.
Anybody on here ever heard of the movie Soylent Green?
Go back and watch that. back and watch.
Soylent Green was a movie about. This was a movie was depicted probably in the 1950s or 60s, so it was old black and white and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But Soylent Green was about them eating people, humans.
We can have a whole show about that because there's books out about, especially eating black people. I ain't, no
And
doubt.
it was
a book called The Delectable Negro, and I just said that. Real
cool.
Let's let him finish that thought, though.
Yeah. So it was depicted back in a day and time where it was 1950s or 60s, and it was old, but they futurized it, or they hypothesized that it was going to be a point in time where food was going to be so scarce that they was just taking people and they was putting them in a machine. It was coming out as crackers or whatever it is, disguised. So they was eating people. And then somebody, found out what the gig was and said, Soylent Green is people. And, I'm not an actor, but the people freaked out and said, oh, we're eating people, we're cannibals. But yeah, go ahead, Q.
Well, one of the things we talked about the yuck factor, but I can recall, the locusts come like every 17 years. I can remember the last big locust thing, and there was quite a buildup about people having locusts. They were having roasted locusts, chocolate-covered locusts, and lots of people were saying how delicious that really was. They really were, and I can see a day, to go back to Andre's point where he don't think mass adoption will never take place. I can certainly see a day where that shift takes place and there is an adoption. It may not be mass adoption, but there will be enough people to make it profitable. And if it becomes profitable and people are trying it, then there's a chance. So I can see that time coming eventually down the road.
No.
To that point, I remember, I know somebody that used to make medicine. With those every 19 years, and they come out in abundance. They collect as many as possible, and they absolutely make medicine out of those.
You know what, man? Back in the day, man, when we used to live in the hood, we had roaches, right? I'm gonna just keep it real. You had roaches too, baby. Don't act like you ain't had roaches before. You know what I mean? But and you used to step on a roach, right? Now I know roaches are probably on the hierarchy or the class category of insectology. Roach probably. I know I'm bugging Andre. But roach is probably down in the social economic scale. They probably next down there to black and brown people. You know what I'm saying? Where crickets might be a little higher. And the bumblebee seemed to be, King B. That was up.
High on the hog.
Bumblebee is the lobster. They're the lobster.
Well, look, you remember?
Oh, man.
The Bible says they ate locusts and honey at one point, right?
Biblical, exactly, man.
Yeah.
Locusts and honey.
Yeah.
It has a biblical reference.
But anyway, man, we just step on them roaches, right? And the roach juice used to come out.
That's what it is, man. It's juice now.
It would just be this brown.
Imagine eating that.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point, Andre.
But you also remember we used to catch grasshoppers. As youth, we used to catch grasshoppers. And we used to have this saying, when you catch the grasshopper in your hand, and if it spit tobacco on it, you let them go. And there was a juice or fluid that came out of the grasshopper too. And people eat grasshoppers. That's becoming another thing that's becoming a part of our food economy. Grasshoppers is another one that we're starting to implement as a food source. So it's coming. Whether we accept it, kick it and scream it, it's coming. I'm telling you guys.
It's already here. It's already here. Hold on 1 second though, because they're considered delicacies. I know we laugh at it, we food it, but you go to certain places, grasshopper, and you can make them several ways. You might have a shish kebab, you might have a chocolate dip, you might have it fried, you might have it dyed, lean to the side, but they're considered delicacies in a lot of places. So it's not the poor people buying that stuff. It's people with means, like, yo, I want this or that. And in some places it is poor people. But the bottom line is that it's considered a delicacy in a lot of places.
Interesting conversation. Q, before we wrap it up, go ahead.
Last thing, and it's all about the adoption part is all about what we are culturally used to. Because if you think about other cultures, they look at us crazy because we eat beef.
The Indian culture.
Indian, we think we're crazy, and we're here rumors they like dogs, and so it's different cultures and what is accepted and what's been practiced in those cultures, and I think sometimes the cultures kind of meld together, and I think it's going to be a case where the cultures kind of meld together. It may take 15, 20 years. It might not happen in our lifetime, but I think there's going to be massive.
You never know. But I'm gonna say this: if you eat pig feet, and let me back up. I don't want chitlins. My mom used to cook chitlins. I ain't gonna rig on. But if you could get past the chitlin smell in the kitchen, you can have a little cricket now and then. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Hey, Natural, I got one question for Natural. Natural, have you ever looked at, I know you don't eat it, but look at a lobster. Look at how they look visually, how a lobster looks.
Like a bug.
Exactly.
But
It looks like a bug. A sea bug. Look at a crab, Natural. What does a crab look like? A spider or a bug. So, like I said, its adaptation is what it's going to be.
Bugs of the sea. Margaret said, brother ate dogs in Vietnam. I've also known that if you went to a Chinese restaurant, you probably had a little cat in your day. You just didn't know it. You know what I mean? So
that depends on where you are, because I ain't even gonna throw nobody under the bus here.
Yeah.
If you went overseas, I mean, like you go to Vietnam or you go to the Philippines, they'll tell you go out back and pick the dog you want.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah.
That's a lot for me. That's too much for me.
Some kind of way because we have a certain connection to dogs. But
so look, we're gonna.
That gives a whole new meaning to hot dogs. That gives a whole new meaning to
hot dog. Y'all simple. Hey, look, we're gonna wrap up, but coming up, it is April tomorrow. So happy April, and this was not an April Fool's joke. We were serious about these bugs, but we will be announcing our walk. Next week's show, we're gonna be talking about our walk, and y'all know brothers be walking, man. I did 14 miles the other day on them, son. You know what I mean? My wife had called me on the phone twice. Said, "You all right? You ain't back yet? Where you go?" Yeah. It was 3 hours and 44 minutes or something like that. I was out there. But anyway, we're gonna be walking, y'all. We serious about this health and getting y'all back in health, getting us all back in health. So,
quick question: anybody that's looking at the show right now, if you did a little, if you did a walk last week, put a 1 down in the chat. If you did two times last week, put 2. You did 3, put 3 in there. And I just want to know if everybody's walking. If not, I challenge you this week to get out and walk. And if you didn't do any of that, 1, 2, or 3. Then say, put a 5 on it because you got 5 on it this week. You're going to do a walk. You got 5 on it, baby. Come on.
The weather's beautiful now. The excuses are gone.
No doubt. And we're going to be getting it in. So, closing thoughts. Andre, you want to hit the people with anything before we leave tonight?
So, look, when y'all start talking about eating dogs, my dog ran around. He ran the corner. He went in the corner. What y'all talking about here?
Donald Trump said they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
Hey, he's coming over your house.
Oh my God, that's funny, Andre. That's funny. Now, you got some closing thoughts, brother?
Yes, indeed, man. If you didn't walk last week, walk this week. We got a 5. Thank you, Cheryl Queen. I'm with you. So, yeah, just get out. And if the weather's getting better, if you get out in the morning, you get some benefit of blue light therapy as the sun rises. So that's really good for your mood, for your skin complexion. But get out there and do some walking. And if you haven't done your, whatever your fasting window is this week, lock in at 8. If it's your first time, lock in at 12 and 12. And if you done 8 last week, then drop an hour down. It's spring. Get your spring thing together with us. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate you being here.
Q, what you swatting at? Some bugs?
Yes, sir. I
You
saw
was trying to catch
around
He
here.
was like this.
Around.
All right, y'all.
Like it.
Keep one of them broadcasts like you did it. But let's-
All right, y'all. Kenna Dizzle, Cash App, Kenna Dizzle, 5, 10, 25. Whatever you can help the show with, we'd be greatly appreciative. If you're not,
We need some more bugs.
yeah, we need whatever you can give to help out. That would be greatly appreciative. And but until next week, when we be back with more exciting content like this, we do thank y'all. Subscribe, like, share, and also bring a friend or a family member out to the walk we're about to have. Talk to them now, so you could tell us next week, I'm coming to the walk and I'm bringing my granddaughter. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, y'all. Peace out.
There
Got
you
your
are.
son, everybody. Happy